Oh, wait. No, that's terrible music. No. There we go. Yeah, something somber. Something more realistic. You know, something that makes you ask, is it frustrating to put 2 hours into just trying to get your day started, and then something that's supposed to work doesn't work? Yeah, of course it's frustrated. Do you give up? I suppose you could. Or you could decide that this is the opportunity to get off your duff and do that thing that you told yourself that you needed to do and that you knew was super important for a long time. What say we make some magic happen? Hello, you beautiful people. Today is day 169 of Office Hours. I'm Brian Brushwood. If you've never heard of me, that's great. I'm very happy to have finally met you. Just think of me as the internet's older brother. I've seen some stuff. I got stories to beat the band, and I tell them to these fine folks right over here. These are the Diamond Clubs, the elite, the real ones. They're the literal, oh wow, BioCow's in the literal shower. So look, normally we've been on a whole arc doing Scam School, right? This whole revisiting the only show dedicated to social engineering at the bar and on the street. But today, historically, I keyed on, all right, you know what? I'm going to let you in on my work day. I'm gonna spill the tea. You ready for this? First of all, you wake up. First thought, still Brian Brushwood. Then you get up, you get out of bed, put on them socks, put on them shoes, and you keep your one promise to yourself. Boots on the ground, boots on the asphalt before 6 a.m. You put on your rucking vest, you get out the door, you hit the boots on the ground, and you look around this empty, sleeping neighborhood. You're like, gotcha. Then you go for your run. You do a mile. And then, I shouldn't tell this part, you head on over to the IHOP, where you notice that somebody always opens just about 5 minutes late. But that's okay with you, because you know that by being cool about it, they'll forget to charge you for both the coffee and your Diet Pepsi. Meanwhile, you have your super healthy breakfast. 4 eggs scrambled, half an avocado, and you start doing your show prep. Then you get cleaned up, finish your run, 2.5 miles, thank you very much. Get on over here. Step 1, this is the game. You got to review what the content is. You got to see what episode of Scam School you're revisiting, figure out the insights, the lessons. Oh, that's right. I remember this one's over at the dock over on this place. Oh, that's right. We had Jose Fubar Sanchez on this episode. This is a great trick. The poison pill shows up in other places. So you do some research. You look up Jose Fubar Sanchez, see what he's up to. Oh, that's going to be a good story. And then you get to that little part, just that little bitty part that you got to do, where you got to make a thumbnail. Now, here's the thing. You know you're recording live on a stream. But the thing about streams is eventually YouTube just flips the switch, makes them a VOD. But secretly, looks left, looks right. YouTube really wants you to do good live streams because YouTube wants to reward actual humans who have the audacity to show up with their real, authentic, true selves. So you want to make sure that first opening is super polished. The whole experience, you want a consistent brand identity. That's why you've been working in on keying in fast turnaround. Because in a world where you intend to put out upwards of 10 to 12...
That's a great idea!
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right it's a great idea. In fact, let me turn that down just a little bit. There we go. In a world where you plan to be doing 10 to 12 bits of content every single week, you need a fast, efficient way, a pipeline, to have good-looking thumbnails that easily telegraph it's this kind of show where this is going to happen. Great. So you got a whole thread set up, and the robots are getting pretty good at dialing in on it. And you can tell because very few people are noticing that a robot does it. By the way, pro tip, don't believe anyone. Actually, I could just stop right there. Don't believe anybody who gets on a high horse about the robots. They don't care about robots. What they care about is not knowing that it's a robot. Because once you get past the letters AI, everyone loses the thread. Everybody can't articulate what they want. Basically, what they're saying is please keep your product glamorous. Please don't allow me to think I know how your trick is done. And that I respect. as a magician, as an illusionist, as a designer of deceptions, fakes, frauds, an understander of the importance of a polish, that all makes sense. So with that in mind, I don't believe anybody cares how many robots are involved at what part of the thumbnail design process. And anybody who says they do is, number one, either lying to you or lying to themselves. Also, pro tip, I will only accept arguments about AI and robots from anybody who has no pirated content and who pays for Photoshop. I found that there are not many of these people. Anyway, neither here nor there. Here's the important part. The problem, as Michael Crichton said, with complex systems is that it is possible to give them the exact same direction, the exact same instruction. Michael Crichton was fond of saying, ask anyone who has a toddler that you could do the exact same thing in the exact same setup, and for reasons that are not visible to you, you will get wildly different results. That happens with robots as well. So if this were a Newtonian system, we could always have same prompt goes in, same thing comes out. But we do not, which means occasionally it just goes on wild jags. Almost certainly, I do believe. Oh, thank you very much, Dylan Theus. I appreciate that. I do believe that's what's going on right now. It could be unrelated prompts in other parts of your thread. It could be other things happening in the world around you. For example, there's one thing like you could tell what sounds like a totally random prompt. You can tell a robot, generate a random image from an iPhone 6, make it chaotic and unhinged, and it will reliably integrate like a severed deer's head, a doll's face, and some other thing. In fact, actually here, that's a fine experiment. Let us begin today's projects by trying that out. There we go. Yeah, pop that out. Get this there. Move this here. Okay, there's that. Hold on. Yep. And that. There we go. So we'll do bring up a robot. Look at that. Caught me logging my breakfast. Hey, what's that prompt going around on Reddit where it's like, generate a random iPhone 6 image, make it chaotic and unhinged, and it appears to like reliably put severed deers and dolls' heads in there or something weird? Find me a source on that. We'll see what it comes up with. But my point being that these reliable nudges take away your predictable results from it. Now, you can just be frustrated with that, which I don't think is a good idea. But if you think about it as a person, so imagine a person was reliably giving one result. Now, you could have guidelines for the person, but if that person, I don't know, let's say is fighting addiction on the side or has a catastrophe happening in their part of the world, then all of a sudden you're getting erratic, unreliable results. There we go. Create an image of a random scene taken with a iPhone 6 with the flash on, chaotic and uncanny. Let's see what happens when we do that. There we go. Pop that. Let's see what it comes up here. Image generation failed. Getting a lot. I got 50% of those today did exactly that. That's the other thing. So that also is an indicator of the weather. So the other problem with the current flow is that you have to, the current flow requires linear progression. Oh, here we go. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, look at this. Let's see. Yep. Those are the images. Pretty wild, right? Oh, you can't make it bigger? You can't. Interesting. Anyway, that's a coyote drinking a beer with whatever that is. So my point is, if you're doing everything linear, then that means I'm waiting real-time minutes for results to get in. But there ain't no reason that you can't have robots check other robots' work. So that's what we want to try to design, is if I know the night before, I should be able to automate and have things run through a script where first a thing happens, then a result comes, then it gets cross-checked against a number of different criteria. Does it match that? If then, blah, 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 blah. Man, that is a disturbing photo. I don't even like having that in the corner of my eye. That is creepzilla. Yeah. Anyway. Where were we? Oh, designing a system. So here's what I don't know. This is the game we're going to play. Is we're going to see if we can design. It seems to me that even if any one agent or one GPT is unreliable, I'm going to wager that a system of them acting in a regimented way can create a consistent output. So let's begin with this. Be my advisor on this issue. My end goal is to create a system that reliably creates thumbnails for Scam School that adhere to a style guide that is reliable. A current problem that I'm having is that there will be brief times that a ChatGPT thread will hit a groove and get everything right. And then at some point, the thread will decay and it has to start again, at which point it can never get back to matching the original style. I have tried creating a dedicated project inside of ChatGPT, but the results were absolutely awful. What I suspect I need is a managed system, possibly designed by Codex, unless there's another environment that you think is better for it, in which one agent is fed a couple of screenshots, and then a thumbnail is generated along a style guide. The output gets evaluated to see whether or not it meets the standards, at which point, if it doesn't, it gets corrected and tried again until finally something comes out that an individual manager entity is able to approve, and that's what gets shown to Brian. In an ideal version of it, I could feed 3 different screenshots from an episode, and 3 different pipelines would be executed until finally 3 good thumbnails that can be used for an A, B, and C testing option come out. Some of the chief concerns are to make sure that it doesn't look like it's generated by a robot. That's pretty much it. Your advice is appreciated at a very high level before we begin this project. Before we begin, ask me any questions you want to disambiguate what is the best fit. That is another thing, is I find a lot of people forget to remind the robots or to give the robots permission to ask questions. Because if you watch the chain of thought, the thinking, the reasoning as it goes through it, oftentimes it'll encounter a part where it says, I don't know if the user wants this or that, so I'll take a big guess. And then you can see, well, that's where it goes off the radar. There we go. So we'll see what it says. Meanwhile, we'll say thank you to all of you guys. Good morning, Argyle Gargoyle. Good morning, Flochinachi, BioCow, G. James B., Earth 56. Oh, yeah, it's Adam. Thomas Bernellis, Charles Rubach, BioCow, Tim 19862, LC Anime 8252. Is this live? You better believe it's live. G. James B. is lurking in a meeting. Evil RSA. Good to see you, Diamond Club. Diamond Club. Boom, 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 boom. Che chiming in. Wago chiming in. Banterat. Sixter 4157. Nicholas George, 4156. Good morning. Good morning. In the news this morning. Good morning. Stevoid, 999. How do I have a picture of my house? Yeah. Let's see. Makes me want to take a shower. As someone who pays for Photoshop and Creative Cloud and doesn't have pirated content, I understand that AI is a tool like Photoshop or DAW. I also believe that there's a line that gets crossed. Yep, that all seems correct. Wago 333. I couldn't tell you exactly where the line is, but it has something to do with the emotional connection of art and the betrayal of that connection and the value of creative labor. Yeah, I think you're exactly right, Wago. The problem, I think a lot about lossy JPEGs and lossy MP3s when it comes to communication modalities. And I think a problem is that, to be honest, a red flag is the moment anyone says, I blank about AI. Refuse to engage, because you don't know if when they say AI, they're talking about anxiety about what this means for their future. You don't know if it means a personal story about somebody who lost their job to AI. You don't know if it means that somebody, a schoolmate or whatever, did the gross thing of because here's the other thing is, guys, I don't want to freak you out, but the ambassadors for AI are not the most savory folks on the planet. They're not the most likable bunch. They, shall we say, add a lot of noise to the discussion. And then on top of that, you got the fact that we're rethinking copyright, we're rethinking energy uses, we're adding an institutional layer. Look, do not engage. If anyone just says AI, that's code for don't engage. Let's see. Yes, and my high-level advice is that you should not treat this as a better prompt problem. You want a production system, not a chat thread. That is correct. The failure mode you're describing, a thread briefly finding a look, then drifting, never quite getting back, is exactly what I avoid relying on one long conversational image thread. Yep. Projects in ChatGPT are useful for keeping files, instructions, and context together, but they're still fundamentally a workspace. That is also correct. My top recommendation is this. Use Codex to build a thumbnail factory, but make the final image generation only one step in a larger controlled pipeline. Love it. The important shift is this. Do not ask one model to remember the style. Instead, build a system that blah, 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 blah. Yep, that all sounds correct. But I think your best fit architecture probably is, at a high level, I would break it into 5 roles. Style lock, a static package containing 3 to 10 approved exemplar thumbnails. The official Scam School logo file. 1 written style guide, a negative style guide describing what bad outputs look like. This becomes the system's constitution. It should be versioned and rarely changed. Chef's kiss. 2, prompt builder. A deterministic agent that takes episode screenshot ABC, the episode number, the headline text, logo, style lock, and produces a fresh prompt every time from the same template. No notes, 10 out of 10. This matters because it prevents thread drift. No memory, no accumulated weirdness. Every run starts clean. Love it. Generator. This is the image model step. Its job is only to create candidates, not judge them. You would likely want multiple attempts per screenshot, each with slight structured variation. Tighter crop emphasis, text emphasis, logo emphasis, more negative space, more aggressive early YouTube energy. Yep. 4, a critic evaluator. A separate agent scores each candidate from a rubric. For example, is it 16 by 9? Yeah, that's a big one. Screenshot preserved, not repainted. Thank you. Logo preserved, not distorted. Bless you. Typography style when allowed within allowed family. Early YouTube vibe present. No AI plasticity, no gibberish text. Face fidelity preserved. Safe margins respected. Looks like house style, not generic GPT. That is correct. This evaluator should be allowed to say fail. Mwah. Manager approver. It can decide to retry, escalate the best 1 to 3 to the human. That's me. Archive the approved output as a future exemplar. That is the part that resembles the manager entity you described, and yep, that's a sensible use for Codex-style orchestration. Codex is built for this sort of multi-step, reviewable workflow more than Projects is. So far, so good. Hells yes. So let me go ahead and open Codex. The most important practical advice: I would strongly discourage a pure generate the whole thumbnail from scratch workflow. Agreed. For your use case, the most reliable system may be actually one of these. Option A, AI-assisted compositing. Assemble with a template compositor. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Option A requires too many real-time Brian minutes. Option B also requires real-time Brian minutes. Hybrid. Wait. Our end goal is a system that Brian simply enters 3 screenshots into, writes a title and episode number, and after some amount of time gives him 3 options to choose from. We can iterate on this process, but before we begin, evaluate how likely this result is. If the tech isn't ready yet, or the path isn't clear, propose an alternative end goal. So at this point, I'm offering an on-ramp, an off-ramp. Let's see. I appreciate everyone here for building a community, inviting of critical thinking, and maintaining an open mind. High five, Wago! Steve Boyd says, I wonder if OpenAI has its own agentic system that won't cost you API credits every time now. Yeah, I don't know. Some people complain about jobs being taken over by AI, but some jobs should be taken over by AI, like menial or dangerous jobs. Many jobs exist not for need, but simply to give someone a job. Yep, that is one of the many discussions that are being had. That would suggest that there's a greater problem in a larger system, that people need to be employed only for the point of being employed. But, yes. Yes, and that is the sound of Brian driving past an off-ramp. Let's see. The exact end goal is plausible, but not yet something I'd fully call reliable without either human review or constrained template system. Codex is now very good at orchestrating multi-agent workflows and running parallel subagents, which makes it a stronger fit for the manager evaluator retry parts of your idea. ChatGPT Images is also much better than it used to be at precise edits and preserving details, but it doesn't automatically. Great. Okay. Great. Let's do this. The weak point is still visual taste lock and fidelity lock. But the path is clear enough to begin. First version should not be, yeah. Brian inputs 3 screenshots, title, and an episode number. The System 3 returns 3 near-finished results that are all compositionally correct. Yep. Autonomous shortlist. 3 screenshots, episode number, and a headline. Output, 98 candidates generated in background, scored by rubric, reduced to a top 3. Okay, great. Yeah, there we go. Let's aim for phase 1. Outline what the system looks like internally. What are the steps? Actually, paint a picture for me of how this would be set up with codecs. Explain reasons for each part so I understand. Boom. Let's see. We need virtual Brian minutes. Oh, dang it. You're right, Cliff Horn. Sorry. Shouldn't have used my fingers. It's not that I forgot that I talked to it. It's sometimes you want to begin before your thoughts are completed, and it's hard to consider everything and then barf out a prepackaged line of text. ATL John Boy, that's a pretty good one. If anybody wants to cook that up, we can put it in there. Okay. That's correct. Yeah, that's all fine. Great. Great. This all sounds right. Yep, this is all stuff that we already said before, but I guess it's good that it's being reinforced. By the way, if somebody were to just tune in, it might look to outside eyes like Brian has any idea what he's doing. If there's one gift I could give you guys is understand that I don't know any of this, but we are now in an age where the job is simply to be the initiating force and to know what is and is not the project, the product. Artists describe this as seeing the figure of Mercury inside the lump of marble. That's great. So these are all correct. And so now yep, that all sounds correct. Apologies to audio listeners. Ooh. Is there an easy way to get it to say all that stuff? To speak that? That's a separate thing that I could do. Okay. Great. Let's aim for an extremely simple, rudimentary 0 to 1 version that we can make version. How fast, if you act as manager and direct me step by step, estimate time to functioning prototype. So what I'm doing, this is just stage hypnosis techniques. I'm taking our common ground and I'm nudging us a little bit closer to the shared goal. I'm getting it to imagine how long it's going to take for Brian to do it. I'm also foreshadowing its role of just tell me the steps. Let's go. I think you'll have to have codecs open if you don't want to pay every time it does its thing. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind leaving it open. I didn't type boom. 2 to 4 hours. Well, let's see. Well, let's begin. Yep. 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 Style pack. Great. Okay, so it's starting to think it through. Create the asset pack. I've got it. Hour 1 is already done. Okay. I've got a lot of what you're asking for. Oh, nope. I'm going to talk. All right, I got a lot of what you're asking for. Starting now, act as manager on this project. Each interaction, you should give me a specific task that gets us closer to a 0 to 1 demonstration of things, or ask a question to disambiguate my wishes. Make sense? I've got the media PC here with codecs installed, ready to begin. And then what I'll do is I'll paste in that screenshot of this. Boom. Crawfish is an AI daisy chain. Is an AI daisy chain less complicated than an overlay PNG of the notebook texture and some text boxes? Personally, I think thumbnailing is still a required art form of video media. Yes. What that'll do, Crawfish, is it will solve for the immediate problem, but also build a rigid architecture that in the future, I am certain I would like flexibility to work around. Ultimately, a system that could take words and thoughts Brian has and interpret them in the style guide. And then that way it takes Brian out of the loop of the tedious deciding, oh, wait, this is too many words, or the hyphen is here. Do I want to do this? Oh, well, let me now I'm manually going down to 8-point instead of 12-point. And then basically at that point, Brian's just designing, spending real-time minutes for a less Brian-tastic task is what I'm trying to avoid. That's the benefit that we're going. And at the very least, and who knows, maybe this won't work, in which case we spent a fine hour together learning about metacognition and what is and is not possible. Shay is asking about what is the problem with AI art. Man, that's too fuzzy a prompt to really engage with in a way that won't be a Rorschach test for other people. I got a pretty good music visualizer that pipes in my computer's main audio and one prompt yesterday. Pretty sweet. That's great. Yes. Task 1. Create a brand new codex project named exactly Scam School Thumbnail Factory. Boom. New chat. What? Oh, okay. I'm in there. Wait a tick. New chat. Add new project. Okay, great. Office hours. Scam School. Thumbnails. Thumbnail Factory. Great. Select a folder. Hey, let's build Scam School Thumbnail Factory. Got it. 5 best approved thumbnails. Okay. And this is where I could just ask And actually, here, I'll go ahead and I'll copy these over. I made a thing of Scam School thumbs that I'm going to paste in here. Let's see. Mouse without borders files. Oh. File too big, greater than 100 megabytes. Please drag and drop the file instead. Oh. Back it up. Interesting. It renamed it to put a message in there. How cool is that? Scam School thumbs. Drag that in there. Let's see if it copies. It did. Mouse without borders. Extract here. Whoop. Yep. Yeah. Great. So here's a bunch of these. And then so I'll explain my problem. Great. I've got a bunch of example thumbnails on the computer with codecs. Where do I put the codecs? Where do I put the samples so that Codex has them as a data set? I don't see where that is. Bow, bow, bow. Oh, hello, Kian Lafford. Good to see you. Hello, Chardahan. Haha. The thumbnail for the live stream that is about making thumbnails. Yeah, that was I am glad you caught up on that, sir. Yeah, Stevoid999, you are correct. Scam GPT. Yeah. Jay, various versions of your question are really could be rephrased as, does art exist outside of the artist? Does art exist without both the artist and the viewer? And I am of the opinion that it does not, if that matters. Take care, Flocinaci. Good to see you. Welcome home, G. James B. Okay, put the files inside the local folder on disk. Hey, great. Where is that again? Office hours, Escape School. Great. Okay. Assets, good, bad, logo, and test run. Hey, now we're talking. So what I'll do is I'll do these. We'll do folder, assets, folder, I guess new, good. Let's see, what are the good ones? These last few have been pretty good. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, right? Okay, so those are all good. Copy. Oh, no. There we go. And then bad. For bad, jeepers. Let's do let's open up your recent work. That's pretty bad. Let's see. Oh, it's doing it now. Let's see, where is... where is the... There, this is a good bad one. Bad. Unfortunately, I don't keep all the bad ones, of course. Here, this is bad for a different way. And then... that's also bad. Actually... you know what? I'll hold off on that. So then we'll go to Codex. Then logo. That's another one. Assets. Logo. Oh, there we go. Move that there and then test run. There we go. Plus test run.txt. Well, here, I'll just... oh, no. And then I'll just paste that in. See what it says. What is the goal for the Scam School thumbnails? I'm assuming you'll still use the thumbnail from the old Scam School videos. You're still going to show. Yeah, the old videos still exist. They are the old videos, but there's a unique brand identity to Brian Revisits the Classics that, you know, as you're scrolling through YouTube, you need to be able to, you're out of the corner of your eye with 10% of your brain, you need to know, oh, it's that, and then be right. That's great. Done. Yeah, Codex is, I'm told, pretty good. We're finding out together. Create one plain text file in the project root called style guide. Okay. New text document. Style guide. .txt. Open it. Paste this. Yep, I'll just copy that. Let me double check it. Generate thumbnails for Scam School School that feel like the... Oh, well, here. You just look at it over here. They belong to the same family as the approved reference thumbnails, non-negotiable. Okay. I'll push back on this. Does above have the 16 by 9 rule? I think the good ones were, let me get that right. It was Scam School, go down here. Properties, details, 1691 by 940. 1671 by 940. Okay, great. Okay. Done. And then let me save this. Anti-gravity, I'm not familiar with that one. Tell me about anti-gravity, Steve Boyd. Can ChatGPT see into Photoshop files? There are screen captures that include obscured content in layers. Yeah, that's Che. I believe my interpretation of what art is almost certainly heavily influenced by my experience as a magician. And in the case of magic, if there's no one to deceive, there cannot be a trick. Rubric.txt. Next up, you got it. New text document. Rubric.txt. Let's open that one. Pow, pow, pow. Save. So what it's doing is we're putting individual pieces in everything that are consistent and changeable. So all of these checkbox, these logic gates, these black boxes become modifiable, so you can isolate which one went wrong. Whoops. Delete that. New text document. Run instructions.txt. This is one of the weird things, because you can see all of the structures of programming in here, and yet with none of the traditional trappings of various programming languages. There's sort of everything. The way I think about the LLM revolution is there used to be and or gates. Now there's ish gates. Okay, done. Steve Boyd on the concept of art says, I'd add that it expresses or invokes emotions. AI could definitely do that stuff, or at least a simulacrum of emotion. Yeah, it's interesting because we can't really know at this point, and we don't even know it with creatures and animals in various levels of consciousness and human, whether or not these are trappings of emotions or actual emotions, or even what that even means. In Codex, start a brand new run in this project and paste this exact prompt. Okay. When you say brand new run, do you mean just paste this prompt into that text box? Great. Okay, let's see what's happening. Now it's thinking over here. Neat. Cool. And so now we've got manager bot following other things. Ah, got it. It's Google's version of Codex, an IDE, yeah. Yeah, the features are converging. Essentially, and we see this with crowd dynamics, there's sort of a platonic ideal of design work or storytelling or whatever the thing is. And the more people you have chiming in on it, the more a consensus seems to happen, which is why you see the hero's journey in so many stories, which is why you see, the golden ratio in so many aesthetic layouts or in design work in nature or whatever. Oh. Approval wise, I'm ready to proceed. Okay. So, boop. I'll paste that, and then I'll copy. Codex says paste. And then what I'll do is explain above all this and let me know if there were any surprises. So essentially what I'm asking for is to be kept in the loop here. I just pasted kind of where we're all at. An ishification. I love it, Annalisa. That's good. It successfully found the project. It read the instruction file. It inspected them. It formed a sane plan. It refused to proceed because it believes the test run folder is empty. That's great. The manager brain basically worked. Great. It understood that yep, that's great. That's great. It also proposed 9 candidates total, split across 3 lanes, 3 finalists. Auto fail on bad screenshot fidelity. Auto fail. Great, great, great. The one surprise. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, test run. The screenshots. Oh, and test run.txt. Yeah, I didn't put it in there. Okay, so here, I'm going to get rid of the TXT here. Okay, and then what should go in test run.txt? Okay. So I will do a new text document. Test run txt. And it should be episode number, we'll say 68. Title, Easy poker trick. Save that. Save it. Got it. Okay. Done. Should I paste a screenshot into the test run folder? Okay, great. 3 screenshot images. Great. Done. Okay, so now what I'll do over here, we'll go to always have a winning hand.
Well, actually, pretty terrible.
Let's see. I think there's. Wait. There we go.
But I need.
Perfect. So we'll grab that. And then I will save as. Oh, let me move this guy back position. Reshot. Save as desktop. Nope. Yeah. Assets, test run, screenshot. I'll just save that as it's named. And then we'll grab another one. We'll try this just for variety. And then we'll save this in the place. And finally, this one.
So in that case, I just barely beat.
We'll grab this, throw that in there. So now, oh, save as, same spot, save. Cool. Copy. And then now we'll go to Codex. We'll give it the instructions to run. Okay. So now I was thinking. Cool. Let me see what we got here. That's great. Man, rest in peace, Sora. Wait, did I unlike it? Wait, did it do why is it doing a middle finger? Look at this. When you click on it, it does a middle finger. That's amazing. That's so good. All right. So while that's doing that, we'll check all this. They teach that at Jeep School. Yeah, all of the subscriptions are getting to be a lot. There's about to be a reckoning on everything. Okay, so it says it's still thinking here. Yow. All right, well, technically, I told myself I was going to I'm going to start being judicious on my time. I'll try to limit us to only 30 more minutes. But this is what happens, isn't it? It begins to suck you in. All these, as a matter of fact, what's his name? Richard Feynman had thoughts about tinkering in computers. Let's see, what was it? How did he put it? What was Feynman's beef with computers? Something about you get caught in tinkering. He had a bunch of cool language for it. The reason he didn't get into computers. Hey, look at this. Good boy. It says, I'm not. Oh, no. What did I do? I do like the fact that it seems to have... What? No. I'm specifically interested in Feynman's take on the issue. Exact quotes, if you can find them. Because I know it was in either What Do You Care What Other People Think or Surely You're Joking, Mr. Feynman. And then meanwhile, this guy continues to cook over here, which is good. Does Brian need a hug? Less so now. I did earlier. Good morning, Robert Williams. Good to see you. Ah, here we go. It's a very serious disease and it interferes completely with the work. The trouble with computers is you play with them. They're so wonderful. You have these switches. If it's an even number, you do this. If it's an odd number, you do that. And pretty soon you can do more and more elaborate things if you're clever enough on one machine. And then he sharpens the point. Absolutely useless. We had tables of arctangents. But if you've ever worked with computers, you understand the disease, the delight in being able to see how much you can do. Yeah, nailed it. Ooh, the machine. The Brian Brushwood cognitive machine, 0 defects. Yep, that is correct. Pow, pow, pow. Meanwhile, this guy is continuing to chug along. Continuing to think. Oh, look at that. It is, oh, we have outputs. Oh. Generate demo. Okay. I'll just paste that response there. Boom. Let's see what it says. How do you like that, boss? Yep, it was inner space. Good catch, G. James B. I'll tell you what. Spoiler alert for today's Cord Killers on the full experience. Magnum PI 2-part episode pilot. Dope. Super dope. Go watch it. Go watch it. So much to unpack there. It's great. It's great. I I did. Okay, so verify that the images are there. That's what I. So this is the part where cognitively it's tempting to just let go and like robots are doing things, but of course, you got to burn the calories to make sure that that you are in the loop and you have an effective model. So let's do test run. Assets, logo, no. Good, bad. Interesting. So at this point, oh, output. Look at that. Test run. Oh, we got results. All right. All right. We're starting. Okay. So let's, here's what I'll do. I'll open up Codex or I'll open up ChatGPT on this other one. That's funny. Okay. All right. All the outputs. All the outputs are not usable. These are all of them. Bow, 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 bow. Aha. That's great. So yes, it can run the factory loop. Nope, the current style packet instructions are not yet strong enough to produce usable outputs. That is a valid 0 to 1 result. Good. Pick a copy into a new folder. Gold. Okay. Assets. Gold. Assets. Good, bad, gold. How can we talk into this? Gold, gold, gold. Copy. Paste. And then bad. All of these? The 3 failures should be the ones that most clearly show what bad looks like. I guess we'll just go to outputs. Bad. 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 Copy. And paste. Done. Okay, great. Done. Open style guide and replace it with this. Copy, paste, save. Yeah, Cliff Horn, that's exactly right. Favorite multi-tool for everyday carry? Pocket. Let me share with you. Far and away my favorite. We sometimes are able to have it on the store and sometimes not, but it's this bad boy. The Utility multi-tool, 6-in-1. It does, it's got a straight blade, serrated blade, bottle opener, Phillips head screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, eyeglass screwdriver, all in one. And it gets, I'm told, allegedly, past the TSA. Let's see. Then open up rubric.txt. Replace everything with this. Save. You know what this feels like? This feels like back when we got an Apple IIe and my parents bought a book of a bunch of programs, and then we would sit as a family and type entire programs in to make games that we could play. Okay. Look at this. This is where it's acting exactly like a human would. Like, go back, look it again. You did bad. Yeah. Utility key's great. Yeah. I only had it confiscated once, but the good news is they're $9. Let's see. Okay, so it's in the middle of running commands, doing things. The pocket crowbar? What is that one? Should I look for it somewhere? Ooh!
What a great question.
Hooray for Spider!
Spider just did the magical thing of giving us money.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Man, yeah, as a matter of fact, I think there's only one hard copy of Hacking the System that I think is a print-on-demand thing. We've got it in right over here on the wall, but the certainly the Scam School book is great. You can buy Scam School books, and I can sign all those. Okay, plan, thumbnail, test run. Copy all that. I'm going to paste it in this thread. Sit tight. Yeah, Scam School books in stock, and I am happy to sign it. Okay, so what's it saying? A signed copy of the Diamond Club. Yeah, dude. As a matter of fact, I don't think I only have all the factory seconds of Diamond Club. Good. This is the first genuinely useful output from the system. Great. Okay, post this approved with one change. For the second run, do not use any screenshot that already contains prominent or embedded text, conflicting an old title treatment. Okay. Okay. When it replies, get back to me. You better believe it. Yeah, Spider, head on over to scamstuff.com. That's gear for the modern rogue. And I'll be happy to customize a Scam School book for you. Oh, with Logo. Yeah, the computer programming language. I first started learning Logo on an Apple II Plus back in 1982 in second grade in Littleton, Colorado. Brian, word for... Hey, wait a minute. That is strange. Let me check that. Hold on, Curtis. We're talking secret things. That's right. Curtis and I are talking about a secret. Let me see if I didn't... Oh, hold on. I gotta open that other thread. So many threads. Supposed to be no. 84433. Twenty-two four 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 333. 22 444 333. Oh, you know what? I didn't paste it. Yeah. Yeah, let me fix that for you. Here's what I'll do. Here, we'll just fix this. I think. Yeah, that's the right one. That should work now. There we go. Hopefully that makes everything better, Curtis. Sorry about that. When I pasted it, it must have left some garbage in there from yesterday. Steve Oyd asked, is it your intention to not use any actual AI image generation for these images? Not to keep harping on about anti-gravity, but it has excellent integrations for that. No, I'm fine with the AI generating images. What I want is for the thing that is established and working to continue to be established and working. When you place orders as scam stuff, make sure you add code OHGoodMorning at checkout so we know how you guys came in to our universe. That's a great idea. Still thinking. A small titanium bar. This is the pocket crowbar with a thin lip on one side. Crazy how many times you could use it. Also in the base. Oh, that's right. I have seen that. It's like a little credit card size thing. That's a great idea. Yeah! Oh man, it gets me. I got to set the volume level on that. Yeah, you'll find it's a very Brian Brushwood kind of book. It's very scattershot. There are hyperlinks. There's audio commentary tracks. There's video in the book. It's a pretty cool book. Best platform to do donations is probably, I think, we set up a SKU called I Just Want to Help. Let's see. Help? Nope. Oh, yeah, there we go. Nope. Well, I don't know. I don't know where it is. We should just have a simple donation option. Whoops. Okay. When Codex replies. Oh, it's still doing it. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like we got output. Test run 2. These are all still terrible. Poker easy. Poker trick. Yeah, none of these are correct. Yeah. None of the outputs are any good. It's not even close to matching the good exemplars. What's going on? A parameterized thumbnail template engine. not a style-matching art director. The evidence is all over the place. Given screenshot plus title, fill in my reusable thumbnail recipe. But what you need is given screenshot title exemplars imitate this exact family, even if that means changing the recipe. Right now, it's not truly looking at the good exemplars as design targets. It's using them as the loose mood references, then falling back on a house template it invented. That's why it's not even close. There are three deeper problems. The generator's too compositional, not enough referential. It learned screenshot left, text right, logo bottom right. But it did not learn how cramped the good ones are, how aggressively the text is packed. That's right. Easy poker trick is being typeset as content to fit, not as a thumbnail slogan to weaponize. A real human designer would ask, is the implementation path may be the wrong substrate for the visual step. The existence of that is useful for a factory, but strongly suggests. So this is actually, what it's got is actually closer to what was suggested early on, is it's running a simple template. Can Codex manage a thumbnail factory? Yes. Now we're asking, can this particular generator template path produce Scam School style? The answer is not yet. And the answer is not to tweak the prompts harder, is to force Codex to analyze the gold exemplars visually and extract a stricter template grammar. Great. Post this exact message. I like this. I understand it. So it basically handed Codex the job of write me a book report. Take care, Spider. Good to see you. Zoinks is the thing to shop for. I think it can. We're about to find out based on what it does here. It doesn't know a good photo from a bad photo, or I guess more accurately stated, it has yet to have a reliable way to distinguish between the two, which is what we're getting it to start on. Yeah, Stevoid, what's interesting is this is part of the power of parallel entities, is people make the mistake of talking to any one instance of a robot, whereas the robot doesn't hallucinate when it's looking at another robot's input. It's like, oh, it's wrong because it's making this mistake, etc., etc. In all three gold exemplars, the screenshot is not just on the left. It occupies 60 to 65% of the frame, blah, 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 blah. Text treatment rules actually used by the gold exemplars. Logo placement rules. Great, 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 great. So I'm going to copy that, and I'll paste this response right there. Yeah, actually, 100% you can. Yeah. It's just a matter of getting it to find the compositionally good one for what use. That's the big question you have to figure out in advance, is to what end. Let's see. The diagnosis is strong. It noticed the real difference. Good. Paste this message. Use that report as the new standard. Boom. Oh, Copy. Paste. Do not generate a 9-candidate batch. Instead, make exactly 3 second-run candidates only, all from the same strongest screenshot source. Use these constraints. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Good. Then generate exactly 3 candidates and stop. It is deeply considering things. So if we see anything different, that'll be a fine end to our time. And then I got to flip the switch and get the rest of the day started. What an interesting shenanigan. Okay. Yep, and you can tell from the language it's using here that it's getting close to understanding more of the I like that it's talking it out in a way that humans can follow. When did you become a tech bro? Yeah, this is like a true believers, go back to episode 1 of Brian Brushwood, beginning in May of 1999, in which he quit his day job as an elite tech bro at Dell at the height of the dot-com bubble because he couldn't handle the thought of wondering if he could have made it as a magician. Hey, Cappy, good to see you, man. Take care. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it. Forged by it. Okay, let's see. Test run 3. Nope. Created a file. Let's see. Here we go. Gold match 3. We'll see whether or not it matches the gold or not. Well, these are pretty terrible. All right. I think we're about to have to wrap it up. We got 2 minutes left, people. Hey, man. Good to see you. I'm glad. Awesome to see you around. You know more about this than I do. Are we at the stage where you could vibe code a program to make thumbnails? It depends. I mean, that's literally what we're trying to do, although we're using offsite compute. Oh, right on. Fantastic, man. Oh, 444333. Whoops. There we go. Fixed. All right, guys. That was a good learning moment. We all learned a lot about holes. Congratulations, people. All right, guys. I'll be back later on with cord killers. That'll be the next thing I got to do is set up cord killers, and we'll catch you guys later on. Bye.